Our Stacey Inez has been in the courtroom following this trial for us for nearly 2 weeks now. And Stacey, do we think we're going to have a verdict before the end of the day?
Ben, absolutely not. We just learned into the newsroom that the jury decided to recess for the weekend. They are coming back at 9 a.m. Monday morning. The judge did leave that decision up to them on whether they wanted to stay through the evening and decide whether they wanted to come back over the weekend, and they formally decided to just come back on Monday morning and continue those deliberations. As you mentioned, though, 5 hours nearly of jury deliberations. They started earlier this afternoon and heard several hours of closing arguments between the government and the defense as well. We went back to that New York trip where we discussed the trip, also those Hamilton tickets that were heavily discussed last week. Now, prosecutors called back to the stand FBI agent Evan Hurley, who was in charge of the undercover operation for a period of time. They also called back former FBI agent Michael Wiederspan to the stand. Gillum's talks with agents. He was never asked any specific questions about the trip to New York. And we also know around lunchtime, Andrew Gillum tweeted a message from his wife, R.J. Gillum, saying in part, "Unlimited resources were used against our family after repeated unsuccessful bribery attempts." She went on to say that she does not have words to explain how that feels. Now, court will resume tomorrow morning. At this point, we do know the defense is planning to call at least one witness. Of course, we'll continue following the developments of the trial, keeping you updated as much as possible. As the verdict was being read, the moment they heard the not guilty, family members and supporters just immediately burst into tears. Everyone was hugging each other, just consoling each other after that verdict. Andrew Gillum himself also in tears as well. So just an emotional day overall. And this week alone in the jury and the jury deliberation has been sort of an up and down ride for a lot of people. So the verdict comes on the 5th day in roughly 29 hours of jury deliberation. The jury indicated twice this week that they were struggling to reach an agreement on counts 2 through 19. Gillum's defense attorney, David Marcus, asked 3 times this week to declare a mistrial after the jury struggled to agree, and then again after one juror was found posting selfies in front of the courthouse on LinkedIn. Julie, as you mentioned there, the jury gone for the day. So that puts us at 12 hours now total of jury deliberation. That's between Friday for 4 hours and then all day today. So they will come back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. But during this process, they've had several questions for the court. One of those questions asking if the one defendant could be found guilty and another not as it relates to fraud. Another question today was related to Andrew Gillum and count 1 of lying to the FBI. Prosecutors alleged he made 2 false statements, so jurors wanted to know if both statements had to be proven false in order for Gillum to be found guilty.